つまり僕たちは恋の三角関係ってことです。
なんでそうなる。
三角関係。
なんで二人して嬉しそうなんだ。しつこい。
さあ僕たちの三角関係の始まりだ。さあ一緒に三角三角ラララ三角三角三角さささささ三角三角ラララ三角三角ささ
仲良く円作ってんじゃねえ。
土属性。
は
8ビットオタク。
Like I promised, D-Frag review. Yes. So D-Frag, an anime about a guy who goes to school and pretty much gets fucked over by everybody. And he goes from being the coolest guy, in a sense, to being kind of cool for the wrong reasons. So D-Frag, one of the things I'm going to state immediately right now is that this anime surprised the hell out of me. I mean, when I started watching it, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those typical animes where, like, the guy meets girls and he starts having, like, a harem in the school and he's like, I love you, but I love you, no. But I was completely wrong. And one of the things I'm going to say is that this anime is freaking hilarious. It's just funny. Like, each episode had pretty much a comedic tie that made you crap yourself over laughter each episode. I mean, this anime, I don't want to spoil any of the things. I mean, you might see them on the videos that I usually put, so you guys can watch. But one of the things that I do want to say about this anime is, like I said, surprised the hell out of me. The character starts up, he walks to the school, whatever. He's like one of the cool, you know, like badass kids in the school. You know those guys who, nope, I wasn't one of them. I was a good student. You know those guys who were at school that were like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna ditch, be late to school. He was kind of like that, so I was like, generic. And then, you know, he was followed by his crew, the buff guy, and, you know, the funny guy, quote. And I was like, Bleach much? You know, I mean, he even had the orange, not orange, but he had like close enough colored hair to be like kind of close one eye and cover the other eye. It looked really far away. And no, not really. It still doesn't look like him. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, his hair's spiky, so there. Kind of like Ichigo. Anyways, so yeah. So I was like, this is going to be kind of typical. And immediately I was pretty shocked, especially the part where he gets kidnapped and forced to sign up to a club. Yeah, like, when the hell does that happen? So that's when it first caught my attention. I was like, this is a little bit different. I'll stick around. And right as soon as I stuck around, I found out that this anime was going to be pretty much a good trip. And I didn't want it to end, honestly. When I first, you know, every time you watch an anime, I don't know if this happens to everyone, but you hear an opening, and if it's not as catchy, you'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to like this. And then once you get to like episode like halfway through or more, you're like, oh, I love this song. It's my favorite song. Well, that's kind of what happens. The song, like, it kind of annoyed the hell out of me because it kept saying, like, something, what was it, you never know why, and it kept saying why a lot, and it kind of bugged the hell out of me, but eventually I would be singing along with it, even though I'm terrible at singing. Notably, if you go to one of my other YouTube channels where I make music, you can see a song that I uploaded where I sound completely terrible. So yeah, so D-Frag, once again jumping back to where I left off, D-Frag pretty much, it involves a class, which the class, well, not really a class, but more like an after school program where they basically design games, except that their games are freaking hilarious. They're more of an analog game, which is being less technical, like board games. So they make like these very interesting like card games that make almost no sense and stuff like that. While later on you find out that there's a competing club, which one of the main characters used to be in. And you find out so much. The character buildup in this anime is insanely good. Like, when it ended, I was like, wait, that's it? That's the last episode? I was like, no! So I wanted another episode. But I'm hoping, come on, season 2. Hopefully it's not like they did with Sakura Soul, where, you know, still hanging. Signed a petition. Still hanging. So D-Frag, further on in the episodes, like I said, there's really good character build-up. There's a variety of characters, but I think the best character build-up is around the end, where it introduces a girl, which I forgot her name, but she has I'll put a picture. This is her. I love her hair, and she does these like funny things with her pigtails and stuff like that, and it's really interesting because a lot during the anime, like each character has like a kind of like made up power that they have, like, oh, like I'm darkness, and then like, oh, I manipulate water or whatever, and she carries like a water bottle, so that's kind of adorable. But a lot throughout the anime, there's a lot of like events and stuff like that circle around their club and issues that arise in very random ways that you can never think about, and the uniqueness of characters is actually there. At first I was like, this seems like it's gonna be generic, but it wasn't. A lot of the characters were pretty unique. Maybe there was like one that seemed a little bit typical, but overall it's pretty hilarious. So since I still don't have a rating system and you guys might have suggestions, put them down there. But for now, let me talk about three things that really matter. And like I said, I'm sorry for noises in the background. So the art is pretty decent. Heavily use of gradients, not as heavily as engaged to the unidentified, but it's still pretty, it's there, it's kind of noticeable, but that isn't a main issue. The character animations are fairly smooth. I loved it. And the thing I love the most, the comedic. It's hilarious and surprising, and most of the things that you'll see coming, you would think you saw coming, but then you wonder why I didn't see that coming, of how random the anime is. So that's also a good thing about that. Finally, should you watch D-Frag? Hell yes. If you haven't watched D-Frag, question your life. Like, do you like comedic animes? Oh, you said yes. Okay. Well, do you like animes that have random shit that you would never have expected? You do? Have you watched animes like Yuri and Haganai? You have? Well then, how come you haven't watched D-Frag? Exactly. You have no excuse. Watch D-Frag. I order you. No, but seriously, watch D-Frag. At least support them or read the manga if you're one of those kind of people. But it's funny nonetheless. And honestly, if I could give it a better rating, I honestly would. But if I could, I don't know, 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5, I don't know. Honestly, it's just so good. I can't possibly give it a rating except recommend that anybody who loves animes that are funny would watch it. So there you go. Watch D-Frag. I don't think I said it enough. Anyways, this has been 8-Bit Otaku. Please subscribe if you enjoy my videos. I'm trying to be a little bit more active. So woo, moving my arms around, dancing, moving around the mic, so you guys who were wearing the headphones had a random experience in your ears. Alright, anyways, this is 8-Bit Otaku, and I just rated D-Frag, which is one of the best animes that I recommend you watch immediately. And Jana?
まったく脱帽だな。私はもう満足だよ。今日はこれでお開きでいいんじゃないか。終わらすなよ。お弁当をつまみ食いしたいんですか。あなたまさか。とにかく絶対に私が持ってくの。では任せました。絶対渡さぬ。
感じたか、息子よ。
この方向は日本。
それは。
胸で弾丸を作るとは。
ちょっと大丈夫？だが悔しいが認めるしかないな。 あいつは私たちとは別次元にいる